Hello everybody, if you're new to the channel, hi, my name's Dave. I'm a full-time eBay and Vinted reseller. I've been full-time now for the last 6 years. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you'll see that I jacked my job in because I was selling stuff, sort of, kids' toys and kids' clothes, that sort of thing on eBay. And then I started buying more stuff to sell, going to car boots, charity shops. And it took off and it was doing really well. So I decided, you know what, this is for me. I'm really good at it. I am going to put everything I've got into it and go full time. And I've been doing that for 6 years and it's gone really well. Every year I just try and scale it up that little bit. I don't try and go mad. I just try and do a little bit extra each year to try and push it. And that's basically, what I do every year. I try and set myself some small goals, because if you set too big a goal, I think you put too much pressure on yourself, you become overwhelmed. And you don't really, get the results that you're looking for. So yeah, as I say, my business is called The Magical Toy Cupboard. I am on Instagram as well, if you want to drop a follow on there. I've got a Facebook page. I'm on TikTok. These videos I am now going to try and do regular as possible, at least one a week. This actually is my second one of the week, so that's not too bad. After taking a year out and not posting anything, when I'd initially set myself a goal of posting 2 to 3 videos a week, put too much pressure on myself. I was too conscious of what people would think. I'm now in the mind of, do you know what, I don't care, because I'm doing it for me. And at the end of the day, it's called YouTube, so it is for you. So that's the way it's going to be. If you like everything I'm talking about today, or it interests you, reselling, eBay, Vinted, picking stuff up, sourcing, packing stuff, how I go about listing my items, this, that and the other, then please like the video and subscribe. And as I say, I'll try and put out as much regular content as possible. Anyway, the subject I want to touch on today is what do we do as resellers when we get slow sales days, weeks, months? Do we panic? Do we think, oh my God, that's it, I need to knock it on the head, I need to go and get a job? Excuse me. The first sign of, no sales, or it's slowing down. What do we do? We've just come out the back of Christmas. It's the 15th of January today. Obviously, Christmas is absolutely manic. It's non-stop. For me, I sell vintage toys, comics, annuals. I do sell other bits and pieces, but I try and stick to those niches because it's what I specialise in. It's where my knowledge is, what I've picked up over the years. So I know what I'm looking for when I'm sourcing. I kind of look at a bundle of toys or a bundle of comics, annuals, so on and so forth, and think, right, I could just literally pick through that and go, well, that's worth that. So once I've took off, what I paid for it, worked out the fees and that, I know I can make good profit on it. So I see it, and that's it. So I kind of stick to that. If I start going off on a tangent, picking other stuff up, it's a bit risky for me because I haven't got the knowledge on it. I mean, I'm not saying I don't pick stuff up sometimes, have a go, but sometimes you get it wrong. I try to stick to what I'm best at. So anyway, enough waffling. What I was talking about is what happens when we have slow sales. So like I say, we've just come out of Christmas. Sales been going crazy. For me, they start normally around about, say, September. People start buying then for Christmas, October, November. Generally, as December starts to go into the second week, it starts to slow down because people then think, oh, we're not going to get posted. It's not going to get to us. So they stop buying, obviously. But then once they get their Christmas money, they go mad again, I find, for the next couple of weeks. Now, as I say, 15th of January now. Sales are still coming in. It's not too bad, to be fair. And January is not normally a bad month, nor is February for myself. I know it can be for others because obviously people do stop spending because they've spent lots of money at Christmas. But what I want to talk about is what can we do? So if you experience low sales, there's a number of things I do, and there's a number of things that you can do yourself. So first thing I would do is I'd suggest you go back onto eBay or Vinted, for example. We'll start with eBay. Click on your listings, click on oldest listings, and go to the ones that you've had listed for, say, I don't know, more than 60 days. I don't know, some people have different preferences, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it's up to you really. But if something's been on there for a couple of months and it hasn't shifted, I start to then take them off, sometimes re-photograph them, put them back on with a little slightly different description, title, different description, just so it looks more fresh. I do the sell similar thing, which probably everybody knows about. If you don't, obviously, just if something's finished, sell similar, change the title, put it back on. The eBay algorithm thinks it's a new listing, so it's sort of fresh, gives it a bit of a boost initially. But I find sometimes that doesn't always work, because if you're having the problem where you're not selling one item and you keep doing that, sell similar and changing the title and that, it's not working. I generally think it's not just the title, you know, or what it is sometimes. You know, I'm not saying it's like, you know, if something's not desirable, someone doesn't want it, no one's going to buy it anyway. So it doesn't matter what you do, really. But for me, if that's still not selling, you've got to take it off. You've either got to take it off and rephotograph it just a little bit differently, so that eBay, so then it is definitely a fresh listing. You're releasing it fresh. You're not, you know, sell similar. You're doing it differently. Or if it's something that you've got similar items of, for example, if I've got like lots of old vintage annuals, I buy a lot of Beano annuals, Dandy annuals, Top of Beezer, Victor Warlord, and so on. If they're ones that are sort of not as desirable as in price wise, like you can't get more than £10-15 for them, you can only get like a fiver. I've got a good few of them lying about then that haven't been selling. I've made my profit absolutely ages ago off the bundle I've picked up, off all the good titles in there. I'll generally take off probably about 10 of them, and then I'll bundle them up. I'll do them as a bundle at a certain price, because at the end of the day, the way you've got to look at it is, right, you don't want all this stuff just sitting there, yeah, not selling, mounting up, because if you want to source new good stuff, yeah, you've got to have the space to put this stuff, you know, in your storage unit, in your cupboards at home, whatever you've got set up, shed, whatever. And if you've got all this old stock that's not shifting, there's no point holding out and waiting for this one item to sell, and whatever it is, you know, you've done all what you can with it, you've changed the photos, you changed the listing description. At the end of the day, some things just don't sell, yeah? It's simple as. Not everything sells on eBay, yeah? So, yeah, I'll bundle it all up. So I'd maybe put, you know, vintage annuals, Dandy Beano, job lot of 10, blah, blah, blah. And then just put it on for like 20 quid or something, yeah? Even though you might be able to get 5 quid each for them annuals, you haven't been getting 5 quid each. It doesn't owe you that anymore. Just get rid, okay? So that would be my advice, basically. So apologies for that. Knock at the door, as you heard, was the postman coming to collect all my parcels. So sorry about that. So where was I? Yes. So what I was saying was, you just bundle stuff up and just get rid of it that way. You tend to find it will go then, because someone's basically getting more for more money. You know, more stuff for their money. They're getting a large bundle of annuals then for less than they pay individually for. And sometimes, you know, other resellers might look at that and think, oh, I can sell them individually. Well, good luck to them. If you've failed selling some of those for months and months, you've already made your profit off the other stuff. Just bundle them and get rid. You know what I mean? You need to make room for new stock. You don't want a load of old stale stock. So that'll be one thing I'd do, is while you've got the time, while it is slow, just go through your older listings, freshen them up, same on Vinted, take them off, put them back on a little bit differently, take different photos, just to freshen up your old listings. You don't have to go mad doing the whole lot, because that's going to take ages, right? Just do 5 a day if that suits you, 10 a day, just so that you're getting that old stock back out there, back on the eBay algorithm, right? So that'll give you a little boost with those. So that'd be the first thing I'd do. Next thing I would do is, obviously, you know, if you've got an eBay store and you're a business seller, you get coupons. So I would definitely utilise them. I find them brilliant. I use them all year round. Depending on what time of the year it is, or, you know, how sales are, I might not use them at all for a couple of weeks, because if sales are flying in, then you don't really need to be giving people extra discount when you're already getting sales, because you're going to lose out. So this, before I go into it, you do need the margins there in the first place. If you're selling stuff for 5 quid, yeah, you haven't really got much scope then to start dropping a 10%, 15% discount on. You've got to make sure, first of all, your business has the room for you to do that. Okay, so don't start putting a coupon out for 10, 15%. If you're selling items for 3, 4, 5 quid, you're not really going to make any money, are you? Because once that discount comes off, once eBay take their fees, because obviously don't forget they put their postage on before they take their fees, you're really not making anything. You have to be selling hundreds of items to be doing that. So what I tend to do, if I have got, for example, an item on there that, I mean, most of my items, to be fair, are between 7 and sort of like 30, 40 pounds. Some items I've got 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, but there'd be, small margin of items really. Most of my items, I try and make sure minimum 10 quid if I can help it, 15, 20 quid, that sort of bracket as a minimum. Anything above's a bonus, obviously. I do sell items for £6, £7, of course. But what I generally do when I'm selecting a coupon, you can either select the individual items that coupon can be used on, or you can set rule based when you set it up, and you can pick from your own eBay categories, your shop categories that you've set up. So for example, if I've got vintage annuals as one of my categories, I just select that. I don't select anything else on my store, and that coupon can only be used on that then. Okay, so if it's that sort of stuff that's slow in selling, the other stuff's selling okay, drop a coupon out. You can send it to followers that follow you on eBay. Obviously, depending on how many you've got on there. Again, obviously, I've got about, I think, 1,000 people following me on eBay. But some of you might have 5 people, 10 people. Some people might have 10,000, I don't know. Anyway, you can send that out, or you can advertise it on your Instagram page if you've got one of those, your Facebook page. Push social media as much as you can. That's something you really need to be doing if you're having slow sales, because the more you can tell people about your items, the better. Obviously, it's just like a shop. How many times do you see adverts saying sale on, this is discounted on the telly, on the radio, you hear it. Outside the shop, if you walk past, there's big, massive like signs up. Otherwise, nothing would sell. This industry is difficult, you know what I mean? You can't just literally list 1,000 items, sit there and think, oh, I've done my job, brilliant, that's it, now I can sit down, now I'll have a cup of tea, now I'll just go flying out the door, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, I haven't heard it ka-ching for a while. It doesn't work like that. If you're in this business, you've got to be pushing your stuff out to everybody you can, as much times as you can, a day, a week, with whether that be you advertising it on Instagram, Facebook, like I say, whether you're doing a coupon, sending that. If people have bought off you before, repeat buyers, or anybody that's bought off you on eBay, you can send them a coupon individually. Just send it. You can put a little note in there while you've sent it. And a lot of the time, you'll get people go, oh, I wouldn't mind spending money on that now. I'm going to get 10% off. As soon as people think they've got a deal, let's be honest, we're all the same. I'm the same. You think, oh, I might not have thought about buying that before. It was 15 quid, but it's 10% off now. But what I also do, I tend to make my coupons last only a certain amount of days, because I know it's bad, but it does panic people into buying. Because if you get a coupon and you can use it whenever throughout the next couple of months, you're not really going to have any urgency to spend, are you? But if it says you've got 3 days that expires, just like the good old, DFS sofa sales, sale on now, ends next Sunday, then another one's on, ends next Sunday, then another one's on. It just gets in your head, because you think, oh God, say I was buying a settee and it's 150 quid for this small little seat or something. And then the sign there's a sale on, it's 70 quid, but it's only on this week. And you think, they always have sales on. But then you think, oh no, what if they don't? What if they just don't? And it's back up to, I can't afford that. I've got to get there and get it. Same mentality, it's just, we're all human. We're all sheep, aren't we? We'll just follow what the process. We see something and we're like, oh God, we've got to go and do that. So that's what I do. Push the coupons, because they really do work. They work for me. You can actually print coupons off, obviously, if you don't know this. So when you're packing your stuff, someone's bought something off you, you can pop a coupon in. Sometimes, again, that's fantastic, because those people then become repeat buyers, because they think, oh, that's good. I've bought this and he's given me a coupon. That's nice. I might, have a look what else he's got, because I've had a good service. I've had the postage sent out quickly. The item works. It's in fantastic condition. The description was exactly what it is, and they're happy. So I think, I'll buy off them again. You've got to try and get repeat customers. So yeah. So definitely coupons. That's another option. So if sales are slow, like I say, fresh things up, rephotograph or bundle up. That's your first option. Yeah, get some of your old listings, your stale listings freshed up, try and give you a boost on there, boost the algorithm, get rid of some old stock. As I say, next one, send some coupons out, or just run a coupon discount for a week, put 10% on all your items. Trust me, you know, people will buy. You'll definitely see a difference. But like I said, you've got to have that in your business. You've got to have enough profit margin for you to run that coupon. Otherwise, you're going to do yourself over. Yeah. Another one is there's a thing called markdown sale on there. If you go into the marketing section on your eBay Seller Hub, what people like is, again, like you see in the shops, again, half the time when you see something that says was 50 quid, now 30 quid, probably never was 50 quid in the first place. Let's be honest. We all know it's just a trick that they all use in these supermarkets, shops, you know, retail shops, clothing, toys, whatever. Half the time, it never was that price in the first place. So again, you've got to have this scope in your business, or you've got to alter your listings. So if I do a markdown sale, there's generally enough profit in my items that I put on anyway. So I can afford to take certain amounts off and still make profit. If you can't, say you've got something on for, I don't know, 20 quid, yeah, just relist it at 25 quid, 30 quid or whatever, yeah. Just go through a few that you want to do, say 10 or 15. Then go into your marketing, in your Seller Hub, go into marketing, click on markdown sale, and then basically just put, you know, extra, or knock say 10 quid off or whatever. So what it does then on eBay, when it shows the listing, it's got like a slash through the price it says was, got a slash through it, and has a new price. When people see that, they think they're instantly getting a bargain. Whether it was ever that price in the first place or not, they don't even think about it. They think, oh, hang on a minute, I was interested in getting one of them for my kid or whatever, for my mum, for my daughter, for, you know, my wife, my husband. That was 25 quid yesterday. It's only £15 now. No, but they wouldn't even know it was, because it says was, you know, they don't know what it was. It just says was this, now this. They just buy it. Yeah, it works. Another idea. Yeah, another idea to do. So I definitely look at those three things. Yeah, I'm not going to make this a long video and go into other aspects that you could do. I'll be here all day. I will do other videos and other things you can do, but for me, if it's slow sales, those are the first three things you want to be doing, you want to be looking at. And obviously, as I said, as I did touch in there, the fourth thing would be advertising. Yeah, not paying for advertising. Use all the social media options that you've got. You know, whatever social media accounts you have. Yeah, if you haven't got one for your actual business, set one up. It's not difficult. It doesn't cost you anything. And it doesn't half out, because you've got a lot more people seeing your stuff. You've got the people on eBay seeing your stuff. You've got the people on Vinted seeing your stuff. And then you've got people on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Didn't even know that you existed on eBay and Vinted. All of a sudden now, you're pointing them to your shop, yeah? And they go and have a look. Not only does that help, obviously, if they do buy something, it does help with the eBay algorithm, because there's more traffic going to your store. The more people looking at your store, more traffic going to your store, the more eBay will push your store up in the listings, in the search, yeah? So your items will become more visible. Obviously, the old adage is the more you list, the more you'll be seen, the more you'll sell. But if you list 100 items, if it's absolute crap, nobody wants, it doesn't really matter. As I said, if you list 1,000 items, if it's not desirable, if nobody really wants it or looking at it, it'll just sit there. No one will buy it, trust me. Yeah, you'll end up doing a car boot sale and selling it for £1. Yeah, and fair enough, if you haven't spent much money on it, it's not so bad. If you're not spending much money on some stuff you source, and you're not sourcing quality stuff, that's up to you. I like to try and make sure, if I'm spending money and sourcing, I'm buying good quality items that people want to buy. If you can get into a niche of certain things that, you know, you've got the knowledge on, where you can just see straight away, oh no, that's going to sell for whatever, brilliant. You've got it down to a fine art then, because it becomes a little bit easier for you. Like, so I don't find sourcing difficult. Like, the difficult side of reselling is selling it. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's all well and good having all this stock, cupboards full of it, shed full of it. Like in my instance, I've got a storage unit. I've got 2 large cupboards at home with stock as well. I've actually got stuff under the stairs as well, to be fair, that the wife's not too happy about. But anyway, but yeah, you know, you've got this stock, you want to sell it, you want to get rid of it and bring new stuff in, yeah? Buy, sell, repeat, simple, yeah? Otherwise, you just become a hoarder, you just become your own storage unit, you're not making the money you need. And before you know it, if you have gone full-time on this, and you're doing that, and you just think you can list stuff and sit on it and do nothing, and it's just going to make you the money, you will end up back doing a boring 9-to-5 job, or a long hour job, 12 hours a day, whatever, doing some crap you don't like doing, and you've got some boss in your ear telling you what to do, telling you when you can go and have a piss, when you can have something to eat, and basically, you know, you're just being told what to do all day, and you hate it, and you come home miserable. This eBay, Vinted, reselling life, wherever you do, however you sell stuff, wherever you sell stuff, yeah, the idea is it frees us, it makes us independent of ourselves, we're our own boss, we've got our own time, whatever time you put into it is what you're going to get back. So that's the way you've got to look at it. You're the one that's benefiting. Whatever effort you put in, you are the one that's benefiting, not somebody else driving around a Range Rover, Ferrari, whatever, who doesn't even work. They just come in, have a look at you, have a go at you, go home. Nobody wants that. I did enough of that. I did about, what, 25 years easy of that. And I had enough. So I'm glad I did what I did. Anyway, I'm waffling again now. You will find I do a bit of waffling. I do go on. So, like I say, hopefully that's helped some of you guys out there. Don't panic, don't worry. We all have slow days, slow sales weeks, so on. You've just got to try and put the extra effort in then. When that comes along, you can't just sit there and think, oh, it might pick up tomorrow, it might pick up the next day. You've got to act. You've got to send some coupons out. You've got to mark down your stuff. You've got to fresh up the old listings, or even get as many new listings on as you can, so you've got some new stock on there. Because how many times, let's be honest, do we list stuff and it sells the same day because it's so fresh, the algorithm's pushed it that up. If it's a good item, it's gone. Yeah, simple as. But you've just got to work your socks off on the slower days a bit more than you would normally when you're just going like that and it's all going well. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Appreciate it. If you've enjoyed it, please click the like button. Please subscribe. As I say, I'll put some more content out as we go along. And yeah, have a good day, everyone. Hopefully you all have a cracking sales day, cracking sales week, and a cracking sales month. Much love.